That's right, fellow altitude seekers. It's once again time to witness the actions of a few folk that disregard the laws of climbing, where failure is commonplace and the climbing style is hillbilly. Let's try to learn from these folk in Climbing Fails episode number 4. Let's roll the intro. Okay, welcome back. So before we get started, I have to give you guys a couple, I have to say a couple things and maybe a warning. These videos, I wouldn't say they're graphic, but if you don't like the sight of people getting harmed, then it's probably not the episode for you. You should probably watch a different episode. They're not too bad, but one of them can make you kind of squeamish. So if you're not into that sort of thing, not your episode. Another thing is, we're not here to poke fun at these people. Everyone makes mistakes. We're just here to try to learn from their mistakes so we don't be the dum-dums next time. Okay, so let's get right into it. Our first one here, before I play it, we could tell this person's about to jump and make some kind of clip. And this guy, let's go backwards a little bit. He starts off just kind of checking her out. You know, he's not, I don't know what the heck's going on. Before you start climbing, you should tell your climber, hey, climbing. That way he's ready. This is kind of crazy, so let's watch it. Okay, so she jumps for a clip and misses it. And that sends her belayer flying in his face into the rock. I don't know what they were expecting was going to happen. But you know, this is a great episode. I should put this in some kind of Fall Factors episode or anything like that. So a lesson learned here: let your belayer know when you're going to be climbing, and maybe he could say, "Oh," and let your belayer know what you're about to do. That way, you guys could think it over and be like, "Oh, well, maybe I should be way down there somewhere if you're going to be doing that, so I don't go my face doesn't go flying, or maybe I could connect myself somewhere." Okay, next video. Might be a long one. Okay, so here's a climbing gym fail. So we're at a climbing gym. Yes, things can happen even inside, even indoors. You don't have to be in the great outdoors to get harmed. You can even be indoors to get harmed. Man, I wish I was that flexible. Sheesh. She looks like she has some experience climbing. Going for it. Oh, that's a dislocation. So I don't even want to go backwards and look at that. But yeah, her arm got dislocated. How do you prevent that from happening? Well, that's what the point of a spotter is for. So even at the gym, you want a spotter to guide your fall down. That guy's just sitting there filming. He's not doing anything. He could have had the phone down, and he could have been spotting her. So that's the whole point. If you don't have a spotter and you're just going for it anyway and you go to fall, don't try to catch yourself. You should probably tuck your arms in. Like if you've ever jumped on a trampoline and you go down, you never stick your arms out. You tuck your arms in, you hit the mat, everything will be fine. You don't want to land weird on your ankles or anything like that. Hell, I don't know. Maybe like if you fall off, just yell bombs away and tuck in what do you yell when you jump into a pool? Dive bomb? I don't know. Man, it's been too long. Anyway, just get in the fetal position and just land, okay, and eat it. Much safer than twisted an ankle or dislocating an arm or something like that. Unless you're coming straight upside down in your neck, then my goodness, I hope you have a spotter or something like that. That's the whole point of one. Okay, next clip. This guy looks like he's, just started climb. Maybe he's intermediate into climbing. He's been climbing for a little while, His arms right here, you see how he's holding like this, and he's got a bend in his arm? that's using up a lot of strength and a lot of muscle. Yeah, he's trying to get as close as he can to that anchor. He wants to get to that anchor, and his arm's bent here. If you straighten out your arm, you're now using your skeletal structure instead of your muscles. So you can hang on a lot longer. You're still using your hands, but he's on big jugs. So if he was hanging, he could probably shake off. He's a little bit gripped. You could tell by his breathing and his voice or whatever. But those are big jugs right there. It's looking pretty desperate.
Shit.
Make a move.
I'm at it. Is there more?
Okay, so he had a couple options there, and he's taken the route of desperate clip. Okay, so his options could have been try to down climb a little bit and get to closer to that lower piece, and that could be something you'd want to do. You'd have to know how to down climb a little bit, which would be kind of difficult. Or he could have just jumped off and fell down. That was an option. But I mean, I could see why he's just going for the desperate clip. You don't want to take a fall at all, right? But I mean, if you're on bolts, it's not that big of a deal. If you're on trad gear, you definitely don't want to fall. But he could have definitely down climbed, been closer to the piece, took a rest or whatever, and then got up to the anchors. That was an option. But he's going for the desperate clip. Let's just keep playing it. Oh. Now you see there, he dropped his rope, and now it's kind of around his foot. And we all know what happens when that happens. So by trying to get the desperate clip, he's now pulling in some slack, which means he's going to fall even farther because his belayer had to give him some slack so he could try to make the clip. Instead, what he could have did is try to climb even higher, and then without having to pull any slack, he could have just clipped the rope right there, but he didn't do that. So now he's got some more slack in his system, and that rope could be around his foot, and he's taking a fall. At least what he did, and what some people can do and really injure themselves, is they're at that anchor, so they're going to stick a finger in the anchors, or they're going to try to, I don't know, wrap their finger around something, and then if they fall, they're breaking their finger or losing a finger or something like that. So at least he didn't do that. So let's play the rest of it. Yeah. Well, he took the fall, and everything's okay in the end. So, he learned a little bit of something, gained a little experience, and didn't get hurt. Could have went a lot worse. I think if I was in this situation, I was totally blown. I would know if I wasn't going to make it to the anchors or not, and I'd probably hop off before I even tried to make it. But that looked like a pretty simple climb, so he probably could have shaked it out. If he had a little more experience, a little more technique, a little more skill, he could have made it up there. He's probably just pumped and worried and fell off. But you know what? He's all right. What do you guys think about that one? Let me know. So let's play this one. Okay, this one happens really quick. So let's rewind it. Let's play it and then rewind it. Okay. If your belayer is shaking his hand after you fall, something went wrong, okay? You shouldn't have a rope burn on his hand. So let's slow rewind it back to the beginning. Now, if you're an experienced climber and you take out someone out that's not unexperienced and you make them belay, you better be ready for something to go wrong, because I have to say this guy must be inexperienced with belaying. The climber is like 10 foot off the ground, and look how much slack there is in that line. He probably would have hit the ground anyway, even if the guy, what the hell, the guy's soloing now. He would have hit the ground anyway. There shouldn't be that much slack in the system. Now, let's slowly fast forward it to see what happens here. Okay, so the guy falls. His immediate reaction, instead of grabbing the brake line and jumping backwards, is probably what he should have did. He tries to grab the leading line, and it pulls right through his hand. And you can see his left hand, he's got a death grip on the gree-gree, so the rope's just sliding through anyway. So yeah, big accident here. If you're, hopefully he's okay. I think he's all right. But who knows? There's not much else to the clip. If you have any more information on this one, let me know in the comments. But I think the biggest thing is you have to know what you're doing. You have to have experience. If you have experience, you're taking someone with no experience to belay you, that's risky business. So, yeah, lesson learned there. Know what you're know what you're doing. Know how your belay device works. Know how to belay before you go out there. Another thing is the guy could have said, "Watch me here. I'm gonna fall," something like that, and then at least keep tabs on your belayer. Tell him to suck in all that slack so you're not gonna hit the ground. Okay, I think I said enough for that one. Next clip. Wow, that guy should be in a hospital, in a vegetable state, because man, he's not wearing a helmet and he's so close to the ground. Okay, let's rewind it slowly and analyze. Okay, so let's put him right back on the rock. Okay, so if he knows he's about to fall, the climber should be yelling, "Watch me here, I'm probably gonna fall," something like that. But he's kind of screwed anyway because, well, he probably would have picked up some slack. It looks like the rope is around the wrong side of his leg here, as you can tell. So that flips him upside down. So we've seen that before. Always know where your rope is in relation to your legs and things like that, because that's what flipped him upside down. Now his belayer flew up in the air at least 5 foot. And the way you could counter that is you could be attached to the ground, anchored to the ground, and you won't fly up. There's a debate where I think people are having where is it better to belay off of like anchors, belaying off the anchors, belaying off a tree, belaying off something static, so something that can't fly up. Is that better? I think it might be, because if this guy's flying up in the air, he could have easily just took his hands off to save himself because he's flying up there. He doesn't want to face plant. So it looks like he at least goes for the ride and doesn't let go of the rope. He's probably using a gree-gree. He's holding this end and this end. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Should you use an anchor? Is that better technique? I think it probably is. It's probably better. I think like anchors are more bomber than a belayer, right? So depending if you know how to make a correct anchor. So let me know what you think about that. I think that could have prevented this. If there's a lot less slack in the system, is probably one of the biggest problems. So I mean, if a piece popped out while he fell, then oh yeah, that guy would have been like probably dead. If someone yells "woo" after you take a fall like that, you should just take the rope off and go hit him.
You're good.
Okay, honestly, I put this last one in just because I like the girl's commentary.
Go for it. You'll be fine. Let go.
Okay, this last one's a surprise. You're not allowed to see this one just yet. But I kind of want to take this commentary and put it over the other one a little bit. Let's do that. All right.
You're good. Go for it. You'll be fine. Let go.
Oh, that's gold. All right. Anyway, okay. So we're up to our last one now. All right. So party's almost over here. This last one, I used to do tree work, so I find the tree stuff kind of interesting, and I think there's probably a few of you guys that do tree work too that follow me, or subscribe to me. So that's Instagram following. This is subscriptions. Anyway, so I'm gonna let you guys analyze this one. Let me know what the heck you think went wrong with this one, and what this guy should have did. In my experience, if there's a ladder involved and you have to get someone else to climb up to you, something just ain't right. So anyway, let's play it. Oh man, what do you think that branch weighs, like 1,200 pounds or something? Whew, boy. Well, that wraps it up. So let's go to the outro. Okay, so that about wraps it up for this week's episode. If you enjoyed that, hit that subscribe button down here. Here's my Instagram. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I like doing these episodes because there's a lot to learn from it. And I think I'll be doing like ones off of articles, because there's a lot of stories and articles of fails, and we can learn and reenact them and see what they did wrong and how not to do them. So I enjoy making them. But there's not a lot of fail videos. It's probably all due to my video making here. Probably a lot less fails. Just kidding. But anyway, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next week. Josh Perry, climbing out of here.